I want to go over an HTML5 validator website. This is a new update from the book's website, but it's html5.validator.nu. And what you can do is you want to change this to file upload, and then you can choose your HTML file. And I like to show the source, so you would check mark this as well. So what I've done is I've created a website here, a set of code that's not totally accurate. For instance, we've got some issues with doc type. And some other things. You can see here that there are some errors. Now, this is not going to be perfect, okay? So it's not going to catch every single thing, because once you start using tags out of sequence, it gets pretty confused. But I'm going to go ahead and upload it, practice one bad, and show the source. And again, file upload, hit validate. And then it comes through and it does what it can, but at some point it may not be able to do a lot. So immediately it tells you that it's missing the doc type, and that's because there's not supposed to be a space bar there, and there is one. So it's not recognizing this HTML tag at all. Now, it's completely missed some other errors, like, for instance, there's no quotation marks on here, although that is not inherently wrong. It's just good form to put that in quotation marks. But it completely missed the fact that the body was closed too early. So that means this is sort of an unexpected. This H1 shouldn't be here because the body is closed. Then, of course, I also turned off an H2 when I shouldn't have. And then in here, I improperly nested these. You're supposed to close them in reverse, and I did not. I closed them in the same way they were. So if we scroll up here now, we can see it says bogus comment, so it knows about that space. It says it sees a start tag without the document type, and that it's expecting this, which is what it should have been, but since I spacebarred, it didn't see it. It has a stray starting H1 tag. And again, that means the body's closed, and then there's this stray tag. It sees the H2, but it says there's an end of an H2, but there's other things that are open that should be closed first, which of course is the H1. Here it says this in strong tag violates nesting rules, and that's again because they're not closed in the right order. So I could attempt to fix these problems, and then I can upload it again. So let me go ahead and we'll just fix the obvious error here, and we'll fix the doc type. And maybe I'll go ahead and move my body to where it goes. So I'll just click and drag this down. All right, so let's save it, and then we'll re-upload it. Now, again, this website's not going to be perfect, but it's not a bad starting point, and at least it will find a lot of problems. All right, so here we are. Again, it kind of picked up where we left off. It said that the H2 was seen, but there were open elements, and that nesting rules is still messed up. So then I can come back in here and try to fix those items. So I'll close my H1. I'll fix this nesting problem and put this in the right place so that it's nested properly. And then for the most part, it should accept most of this the way that it is, because there's no big errors here. But let's say I, block quote. Let's say I put a space bar in here, or I, open sub but close sub, or something like that. Let's even take a quotation mark off and see what happens. So again, I'm going to choose file again, upload this one, hit validate. It's going to come through here, and you can see it ran into some problems. The block quote, of course, is unclosed. It doesn't even know what to do with some of this because of the quotation mark issue. It thinks it's all part of this. Since the quotation mark was never closed here, it just kept on reading the whole rest of the document. So we can tell them that the error is this quotation mark. So it doesn't come right out and say, hey, you're missing a quotation mark. It just shows everything from that point on, which indicates that at some point here at the beginning of this, there is an error. Okay, so, and then again, it says end of the file is reached. So the HTML was turned off while still inside an attribute. Well, an attribute is the thing that's in quotation marks. So because we're still inside this, it couldn't even get past that. So again, as you fix your problems, you can just go back through, re-upload the document, validate, and then see what it finds. And now that I did that, it can find all those other errors. So it sees the sub problem, the block quote issue. It's still confused about that. Why is there an ending tag? And so forth. So you can kind of see as it goes. And of course, if there were other problems that we fix and then we update it, then it's going to act differently. So like once I fix this block quote issue, some of these other things are going to come into play and work properly. But I wanted you to just kind of see how that works in action. If you have a good one, so I did a version of this with no errors, and if I upload that one, then it should be happy with the world. We'll take the practice one that doesn't have errors and hit validate, and you'll see this one is completely valid HTML5. Everything is as it should be. So again, it may find things that aren't errors, but it will find errors to some degree, and that should help you with your proofreading. So good luck.